Welcome to the Living in Salida podcast, a podcast that offers insights into the charm and reality of living, working, and playing in the small mountain town of Salida, Colorado. I'm your host, Monica McCarthy, a realtor that specializes in buying and selling in the Salida, Colorado area. In addition to helping people buy and sell property here, I love connecting with the wonderful people of our community, learning about their experiences in our town, and sharing these little slices of life in Salida with you. Salida is known for being a vibrant, artistic, and quirky community, and today I have the pleasure of talking with one of the people that contributes to this vibrancy, artistic flair, and quirkiness of Salida, Ken Brandon. Ken is a longtime Salida resident with numerous ties to the community through his involvement as a parent, business owner, member of the Chamber of Commerce, school district service clubs, and Salida Council for the Arts, to name a few. He's currently the owner of Box of Bubbles, a creative resource center located in downtown Salida that hosts workshops, classes, and events for artists. And in addition to this, Ken also has a wonderfully creative and quintessentially quirky Salida alter ego, a Giraffe, where he rides his bike to various Salida events wearing a suit with a giraffe head and spreading cheer wherever he goes. So thank you for being with us today, Ken.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I've seen you around as the Giraffe, which we'll talk a little bit more about. And I've always kind of wanted to know the story about it. So I'm selfishly interviewing you today to want to know more about that.
There's a lot of people that have that same question.
Yep. And so, if you've never seen it, just to talk a little bit more about that, you stand out. I shouldn't say it, but. And I can always tell if somebody, there you go. He stands out, and I can always tell if somebody's a local or not, because they're like, did you see that person? Or the people who live here are like, oh yeah, that's Ken on the Giraffe on the bike.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is when I'm riding around and I see someone on their cell phone, and then I'll hear them say, "You'll never believe what I just saw."
Yeah, I know, it's so great. So it's so fun. But before we get into the Giraffe, because I do want to know the Giraffe origin story, I want to know your origin story first. Okay. So how did you end up in Salida? Why did you move here, and when was that?
Well, in April of 1978, I was living, my wife at the time, Leilani, we were living in La Junta, Colorado, and I'd been teaching at Otero Junior College there.
Okay.
And we both just felt like, we needed to check out other places. So we hit the road I think it was in April, and we went to New Mexico and traveled around. We ended up in Salida.
Okay.
So just one of our, every place would kind of lead us to another place. And so we ended up in Salida. And at the time, I think her name was Bergen, was her last name.
Okay.
Was the director of the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
So we went to the chamber and was just asking about, Salida. And she kind of gave us, well, go check this out, check that out. And we really liked it. And she said, well, if you really want to know a different side of Salida, come back for Fib Arc.
Okay.
And I said, well, what's that? And she told me, and I said, well, does anyone print T-shirts for Fib Arc? And she said, no one ever has. And so I said, okay, I'll be back. And so I coordinated everything, and I made a couple of shirt designs.
Okay.
And I had a homemade T-shirt printing press in the back of my Volkswagen pickup.
Okay.
And so I bought every shirt I could find between La Junta and Salida.
Yeah.
Stopped in Pueblo at the Kmart or whatever it was there.
Yeah.
And bought all of their white T-shirts. So I came here with, I think, 300 shirts.
Okay.
And at the time, Fib Arc was so different.
Very small. Yeah. And then really quick for anybody who's listening, how would you quickly describe Fib Arc?
Well, it stands for First in Boating on the Arkansas. And it's a story in itself.
Sure. Yeah.
Of just a whitewater celebration.
Yeah.
And it was that. There was a lot of kayakers and rafters, and I don't think they had the hooligan race.
Not yet. Yeah, because you said this was 78. So it's evolved quite a bit since then, where it's a huge event that draws people.
Maybe 3 or 4 booths was all in the park.
Wow.
There was the LDS church sold sloppy joes and homemade root beer and homemade pies, and I was right next to them. And I just pulled my truck onto the park, onto the lawn
in Riverside Park.
Riverside Park, and slept there, just camped out there.
I don't know if they let you do that now.
No. And so I started printing shirts, and everyone, was intrigued with the whole process of screen printing shirts. I mean,
that was
and I
new.
would let them print their own shirts, and everyone that came up, they'd say, "Well, where are you from?" And I'd say, "I'm from Lahana, but I want to move here. Do you know of a place for sale?" Okay. And I must have said that 600 times, over that 3-day weekend. And finally, this one lady that was with the LDS church booth, she was just intrigued with the screen printing. She says, my daughter has this house on D Street that they've never lived in. It's just really run down. And I said, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So got in touch with her. Let's see, that would have been the second weekend in June. Yeah. And by July, we had bought the house for $7,500.
Yeah, I know. I love hearing these stories about just how painfully cheap everything was.
And so moved in. I went to the Mountain Mail after we kind of got situated. We camped out in the front yard because the house wasn't livable. Oh, wow. So we just pitched a tent in the front yard.
Oh, my goodness. It was that bad.
It was bad.
Okay.
And so we started fixing it up, and I had a background in newspaper printing. Okay. And so I went to the Mountain Mail, and Merle was the publisher at the time, then. And he said, "No, I really don't need anyone right at this time." And then 2 days later, he comes in, or he sends someone to our house.
To find you on your lawn.
Our tent on D Street. And they said, our pressman just disappeared. We don't know. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we don't know what happened to him. And so we need someone. So I started working for him, and it ended up that he just got a wild hair and just left. Okay. And so I moved right in. So I started printing for Merle, and then asked him if I could have just a little corner of the print shop for doing my own screen printing and sign making, because I also had a background in that. And after, I think it was maybe 6 months, he came to me and he said, "I'm confused. Is this a newspaper or a sign shop?" Because I just kind of
you expanded a little bit.
So then I started renting an area from him, and started my Brandon Graphics sign shop here. Okay. And did that, printed and did the signs, for a while. And then a position came open for an instructor in graphic arts and so forth at the prison. Oh, okay. And
the one in BV, you mean? Okay.
Yeah. And so I decided, well, I'll give that a try. So I went and applied for it, and I got the position. Okay. So then I introduced. Okay. Dave Ward. Okay. Who still lives here now. Okay. He was my college roommate, and he was in between jobs and had a background in business administration. So he came to work for me. Okay. And I worked at the prison for 3 years and just decided that wasn't for me. By then, we had just grown the business enough that I came back in full time into the business, and here we are.
Yeah. So you're talking about the screen or the sign shop. Okay. Mm-hmm, yeah. Which you don't have anymore, right?
That leads us into Box of Bubbles.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Right, got to complete the story there.
Yeah. So like after, 40 years of 30 some years with the sign shop, And Dave, in the meantime, he decided he wanted to try something else. So went back I kept the name Brandon Ward Graphics.
Okay.
As the sign shop, but he went on to do Moonlight Pizza. He started Moonlight Pizza.
That's a
very
popular restaurant in town. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So a lot of history there.
Yeah.
And so then about maybe 12 years ago, I decided, okay, I've done this signs thing long enough. I need something different. So I came up with the idea for Box of Bubbles, which was kind of a creative resource center.
Okay.
And so I started doing that. And I don't know if we want to now kind of...
We can go however you want to go. Yeah.
More questions?
No, we'll pop around. I have a few, but let's see where this. So anyway, tell me more about that. Then.
That's how I got to Salida and my origin story. Pretty much. And in that time of 30 some years of having the sign shop, I served as the director of the Chamber of Commerce for a while. I served on the school board. I served on various school committees, accountability committees, and then on service clubs. Sertoma was a big service club here in town.
Okay.
That eventually evolved into Upper Arkansas Service Club, and then now we handed everything over to the senior center or the community center now. So putting the flags out on holidays.
Oh, okay.
That was Sertoma.
Gotcha.
And then Arkansas Service Club, and now it's the community center that does that. It's their main fundraising source. So
wow.
So Box of Bubbles came about when I decided to just evolve away from the sign business, and I knew that I wanted to create a space that would attract people that think differently, and would come in with crazy ideas of I want to try this or I want to do that, whether it's writing or musicians or theater people, anything that involves creativity. Yeah. And so I was trying to come up with a name for that business, and had in my head outside the box, that sort of thing. But that's so overused. And then for some reason, it popped into my head that I didn't want to burst anyone's bubble.
Oh, okay.
When they would come with an idea, I would say, let's do it.
Yeah, no matter how crazy.
No matter how weird, like, bouncing balls off of S Mountain.
Oh, that's right.
Which was one of the first things that I did when I started.
I think there's a video out there somewhere of that, right?
It's still on YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you type in Salida Volcano, there's 2016 and 2017. I had 8 video cameras set up on the mountain that recorded that. So yeah, it's out there still.
That's right. I remember hearing about that when I first moved here. Yeah. That's very creative.
Yeah, right. So anyway, the not wanting to burst anyone's bubble was the impetus for Box of Bubbles. If I've got people coming in with their bubbles and I'm not going to pop them, I'll end up with a box of bubbles.
I love it.
So yeah. And then I don't know if one of your questions then is about the giraffe at this point.
Well, yeah. Before we get to the giraffe, I was curious, because you've been here for so long. Mm-hmm. I like to talk to people who've been here for a long time because you have such a different perspective than anybody who's coming now or has come recently. And so I guess just to kind of briefly highlight some of the big, maybe even not so obvious changes in our community, because you've clearly been very, very involved in the community from the very beginning. And obviously found good connections right away and got integrated. So what would you say, what are some insights into the changes since 78?
Right. Shortly after we moved here was when the mine shut down in Leadville, Salida was kind of a bedroom community for Climax Mine.
Yeah.
And so it really impacted the area. And then kind of tangent with that was the closing of the railroad. It shut down a lot of the rail traffic about that same time. And so there were a lot of storefronts that were closing, and I had a business going of painting signs. So I would do going out of business signs for people.
Oh, wow.
And then because of, I think, one aspect of Salida or quality is this willingness to take risks.
Okay.
So there was always someone that was saying, I can make a go of it with a business here. So then I would paint their sign for their new business. And then they would last for a little while, and then maybe they'd say they're either succeeding, so they'd want to move to another place. So they would need a sign that says moving to, and so I would do that, and then I would do a sign for their new business.
Gotcha.
So, during the whole time I had my sign business, I never didn't have work in the shop.
That's great.
I mean, for 30 some years, there was always something. Signs that need to be made. So,
sure.
And then I also started doing T-shirt printing it as well.
Okay.
And so a lot of the new bands that were forming at the time and rafting companies.
Okay.
And I don't know, some people that live here probably remember Stacy Thomas, but she was a graphic artist in the area at the time. And she started doing these novel, quirky designs for all of the rafting companies and the ski area.
Okay.
And so I was doing all of her printing for her at that time. In fact, Duke Shepard that has Fat Tees, he posted just the other day some of her designs that he found in his place. So apparently some of them migrated into his operation. But so anyway, that there's been some things that have always been stable, like the recreation thing. Okay. And there was a time when I was serving on the Chamber of Commerce that we made a conscious decision, because for years we tried to attract some other industry into the area, and it just nothing
stuck.
Yeah, it just never happened. So there was a point where we said, we're thinking tourism is the way we need to go, because the rafting companies, started really proliferating, and the ski area started expanding and becoming more than just a one chair rope tow,
Gotcha.
Which it was when I moved here.
Oh, wow.
And different people like Elmo Bevington, it seemed like there was always that entrepreneur energy that was alive in Salida.
Wow.
And we're going to survive. We're going to figure out.
And just be creative about it, it sounds like. Yeah. That's awesome.
And so that's probably the biggest change. And then, we started getting national publicity in Sunset Magazine as being the best little unknown.
When was that? Was that 2019? I was trying to remember the dates of these things.
There was one even earlier than that. It was in the late 90s.
Oh, okay.
There was a little bit, and that was kind of started the, people becoming aware of Salida was in the late 90s.
Late 90s. And then when did the chamber decide to really focus on tourism?
That was in the 90s.
It was in the 90s as well? Okay. I thought it was a little later than that. Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I was the director of the chamber at that time.
Okay.
And I published a little magazine called Directions that kind of helped people find Salida, and if they wanted to move here, the steps that they needed to go through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. How would you frame that now? That was one of my questions anyways. So, finding this place and then the steps to move here. What would you tell people now?
Oh. Yeah, they don't need help finding. Yeah,
that's true.
Place.
There's a lot more resources now, huh?
Yeah. And a lot of people have been resistant to a lot of the change. The tourism has always been kind of a good thing that everyone has embraced, but the influx of people moving here
sure.
Has been a challenge for a lot of the old timers.
Sure, yeah.
And I think the Giraffe has kind of helped me to just adjust to that and have more of a openness to whatever
Yeah.
is going to happen, will happen, and we'll just make the best of it.
Yeah, it is like a metaphor for that. So yeah, I guess that segues into, so what is the origin of the Giraffe? When did this occur? And where did it come from?
One of the service clubs, well, it wasn't a service club, it was an environmental club that I belonged to, which was 350 Central Colorado.
Okay.
And 350 is an international organization centered around the environment.
Okay.
And there was a chapter here in Salida that I got involved with. And one of the things we wanted to do here was have on Earth Day, was have a parade for the species.
Oh,
and I'm not sure if I came up with the idea or somebody else, but anyway, it evolved. And so I started offering paper mache workshops prior to Earth Day to encourage people to come out and make costumes, of their favorite endangered animal.
Okay.
And then on Earth Day, we would have a parade from traditionally Riverside Park to Alpine
Park
to Riverside Park.
Yeah.
And the first year that we did it, we had like 40 people show up in costume.
Oh, yeah?
And,
That's awesome.
We did our first thing. And one of the costumes that I made was the Giraffe.
Okay.
And it sort of just happened by accident. I wasn't even planning on making a giraffe, but what we would do is blow up balloons as the form to build the paper mache around.
Okay.
And so there was this one weird shaped balloon that nobody wanted. So I said, well, I'll take it. And so I started working on it. And at some point I looked at it and I said, that's a giraffe.
Oh, wow.
Because it had the long snout.
Yeah.
And so I just started working on the giraffe head. And I got it finished. And Krista Jarvis was part of the group. And she looked at it and she says, wait here. She leaves and she comes back with this plaid 3-piece suit. And I try it on. It fit perfectly.
Oh my gosh.
and put the giraffe head on, and that was what I wore in that first Earth Day parade for the species. And
that's awesome.
I enjoyed it so much. I thought, well, why should it just be once a year that the giraffe comes around? So I, got a bicycle and started just riding around town. That was in, I think, 2000, maybe 15 or 16.
Okay, when the first...
it kind of was about the same time as Volcano.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of that same, my creative
you had
weirdness was
some amazing things going on that year. Okay.
And so then I just found that it was really good therapy for me.
Okay.
That if I would just kind of start feeling a little, I don't know what's going on, I'd say it must be time to hit the road. So I donned the thing. And originally it was just intended to be weird. Okay. Just surreal. Okay. So I wouldn't wave or anything. I would just ride around and people would just, the reaction was just so humorous.
I bet.
And most people, were laughing.
Sure.
And I couldn't help but laugh. But I'm, nobody
can see your face. Yeah. Your face is kind of in the neck of it. So you can't see, you're completely covered.
And so, it's just kind of become a thing that people expect when the circus performs, or musicians in the park or whatever. That the giraffe, is expected to to make a show.
And the farmers market. So how often would you say you become the giraffe right now?
In the summer, I usually try and get out at least once a day.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's that often? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that.
It's only like maybe 10, 15 minutes is all. It's pretty hot in the summertime.
I bet, yeah.
With that on. So, yeah, it's, I probably don't do it every day, but,
Some days, yeah. So what's some of your favorite reactions to the giraffe that you've witnessed?
Oh, gosh. Anything from, I remember once I pulled up behind Lawton, Eddie, was on the walk, looking out at the river there by Highside.
Okay.
And she didn't see me, and I pulled up and just stopped behind her and started just getting closer and closer. And pretty soon the people that were at Highside started laughing, and she thought, what's going on? And she turns around, and there I am, and she just reaches up and kisses the giraffe.
That's hilarious.
And then everyone in Highside just started cheering,
So funny.
And then I just right away.
And then it was over, It's just little moments.
Yeah, but I mean, I've had instances where I'll just pull up beside people trying to do a selfie or something, a wedding party or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll pull up and just photobomb them, and they love it.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That's the most random photobomb, right?
Yeah. So, and then just, I think it was about 4 days ago, I was riding under the bridge on the walk there, and there was a little boy, must have been maybe 18 months old, but not too, just,
toddling along.
And he was looking down at his feet as he was, and I, of course, stopped because I didn't know what direction he was going to go. And his big sister saw the giraffe and wanted him to see the giraffe. And she kept trying to get him to pay attention. She was saying, look, there's a giraffe. And he was just focused on his feet. And so then finally she takes his face and raises him up, and he starts screaming.
Oh, no.
Just... You never know.
You never know what kind of reaction you're getting.
Exactly, yeah. And then the parents were just a little bit ahead. They cracked up laughing, and he was just traumatized.
Oh,
so
no.
Who knows what's going to be the result of that.
This little ingrained memory of a giraffe.
I don't know why, but giraffes just freak me out. Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh, gosh. I love it. I just feel like it is that I always get a burst of joy every time I see you going around, and it's also just a fun little social experiment.
Break. Yeah.
Well, yeah, for you, I guess it is a break. And it's kind of has, like when you're for Halloween, when you dress up as in a costume, you kind of have this little bit of disconnection from your normal self. Yeah. And it seems like, you're able to do that as often as you want.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was thinking the other day as I was enjoying it so much, people were laughing and I was laughing, and I said, it doesn't cost me anything. There's no expense in doing this, and it makes people happy.
Yeah.
It makes me happy. So
yeah. So
how can you beat that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then just, adding little bits of joy to the world. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with
weirdness.
That. And weirdness. Yeah, I know. That's what I love about it. It's just like, it's so wonderfully Salida, like I said at the top. And I actually have this sticker from Topo where I saw that and I was like, oh, I have to get that sticker because you're memorialized there. But it's just fun to, I mean, it's very unique Nowhere else is there a giraffe on a bike.
And some other people have wanted to join in, and they've made some costumes, but for some reason it just doesn't have the same impact as the giraffe. And I think it's because of the shape of the giraffe. He's such, so tall. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't figured out exactly why it doesn't work for other costumes like it does. And I think part of it is the 3-piece suit.
Maybe.
The plaid suit.
It is just perfect.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah. What are some of the other things that have been tried?
There's been a bee outfit that's been created, and a snow leopard. Okay. And then a monkey. Okay. But they've been out like maybe 2 times. Okay. And it doesn't have the same...
the same impact. Same yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah. And you don't have any plans to stop the giraffe, do you?
Oh, no.
Okay, good. I want to see him thrive for as long as possible.
We'll see. Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, I love what you bring to the community. Anything else, just to kind of wrap us up with an insight into the Salida community here that you feel like might be valuable? Whatever you want to say.
Yeah. I just really feel like, and I think I mentioned this already, that whether it's the entrepreneurship or whatever, it's a creativity that it seems like is, and what you're doing here, of being creative with, not just having a real estate business, but a podcast that, embellishes the community with stories.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And storytelling. Jennifer Dempsey, Bones with his Artisipate and Rock School.
Yeah,
all of those things are just what Salida's going to be okay, no matter what. Because of, things like that going on. And the group that does the harmonica, is that?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, they do. Oh no, it's ukulele.
Oh, the ukulele group.
Yeah,
I just sent with them. The river. What do they call Is it the mud people? They're called mud people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like a fun dance group.
Crazy things like
it's so fantastic.
Most communities don't even have one thing, and we've got just.
So, well, I think, I would imagine that energy plays off of each other, right? Where it's like, well, if you can have a guy with a giraffe head riding a bike in a suit, then you can have, fill in the blank. You can do whatever. And it's such a wholesome fun, I feel like. So, well, I love it. Thank you for what you bring to the community. It's truly unique.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if anybody wants to learn about you, so I know we didn't talk about Box of Bubbles as much, but you essentially have basically a safe space for artists and of all kinds, all mediums.
Right.
So where can people find you for Box of Bubbles?
Well, I'm at the corner of 2nd and E Street.
Okay.
And across from the Elks Lodge or Tapatias. And I'm there a lot. And,
okay.
So then I also have a website, theboxofbubbles.com.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm. See, and there's a photo of the giraffe there. So I was looking at that yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ken. I appreciate it. And let's see. Again, I'm Monica McCarthy, a realtor who specializes in Salida and surrounding areas. And if you're interested in connecting with me, whether it's to help you buy or sell a home here or being on this podcast this season, all of my contact info is in the show notes. And if you like this podcast or found it interesting, please share it with a friend. You can learn more about Salida, Colorado and the real estate market here on my YouTube channel, Living in Salida, Colorado. Thanks for listening and take care.